is Steve Siebold back with publicspeakersblog.com. The 50 greatest speaker marketing secrets for the post-COVID-19 coronavirus era. Boy, this 2020 and going into 2021 has been a bloodbath for the speaking industry, especially for the speakers that don't have a business. They just have a speech and they just do keynotes and that type of thing. They all tried to pivot. So many of them tried to pivot to go to Zoom and get fees. And I know almost no one that's making any substantial money doing that, including the top speakers in the world. They're getting some fees and that type of thing, but it's peanuts compared to what they were making. We're going to lose over $2 million just in fees and different fees and speaking fees and training contracts and licensing residuals and some other things. Is what it is. When meetings and conventions go, and you're in the meetings and conventions business, you better have alternative income sources. So how do you prepare yourself for the post-COVID-19? This will end eventually. And for those of us still in the business, how do you pivot? Well, I've put together what I believe to be the 50 greatest speaker marketing secrets, most of which you will not hear in too many places. Because if you know this business at all, you know that there are only about 50 to 60, 70 seven-figure speakers that are non-celebrity professional speakers in the United States. There's several, there's probably another 20 or 30 around the world, and that's it. People think it's a lot more than that, but it's really not. And most of these speakers, again, just have a speech. They don't really have a business. They have a book this thick with very little content, and they have a speech that goes with the book, and that's it. And then you've got people that really have depth in their business. They have multiple books. They've sold hundreds of thousands of copies, if not millions of copies. They have consulting deals. They have licensing deals. They have training contracts. They have keynote speeches. They have coaching deals. They have all kinds of things going on. And those are the people that are going to be left. So what are the secrets? Well, I'm going to count down going through this year with number 50. And I believe number 50 is you have to be able to entertain people in your audience that don't want to be there. Now, if you've only spoken in the public market where people pay a fee or pay a ticket price to get into your speech, or you've spoken on other programs, or you're in network marketing, you've spoken to your team, or you're in insurance and you've spoken to your insurance company, or a real estate agent, or you're a minister and you've spoken to your congregation. I'm not talking about that. That's a warm audience. If you're a Toastmaster and you've spoken at your Toastmasters Club, or a Rotarian, or a Kiwanian, or a Moose, or an Elks, or an elk. These are warm audiences. These people are going to clap for you and support you no matter what. I'm talking about the big time. I'm talking about the highest level of professional speaking, which is the corporate market, the most sophisticated market by far in this business. If you want to play in the big leagues, that's where you really want to go. Now, if you're Tony Robbins, or you're Bob Proctor, or you're someone at that level, which there are probably 5 or 6 people at that level in the country, maybe 7, 8, depending who you would categorize in that level, you can draw thousands of people into your seminars. But if you're not, you most likely can't. And so the big money for most people that make 7 figures in this industry are in the corporate market. They're in the corporate market. So in the corporate market, most people are being paid to watch your speech. They're being paid. It's their job to be at the meeting, to be at the convention, and as part of that, to watch your speech and pay attention. But do they really want to be there? I mean, every speaker before the shutdown works Las Vegas if they're busy at all. We all work Vegas. I've worked Vegas, hundreds and hundreds of times over the years because it's the meeting capital, one of the meetings and conventions capitals of the world, really, but certainly of the United States. And do you think most people would rather be at the Bellagio in the casino, or at the spa, at the Venetian, or walking the strip, or having fun? Or would they rather be watching you or me give a speech? You've got to be kidding me. 98% of those people would rather be having fun in Vegas. But no, they're in the audience. Why? Because they're being paid to be there. Here's the question. Can you entertain people that don't even want to be there, yet you're so entertaining as a speaker that they can't stop listening? They want to. They want to text people on their phone because they don't care about your speech initially, but you're so entertaining they can't stop watching and listening to you. Are you that good? Are you that entertaining? Here's the problem. And I did the same thing before I met Bill Gove and took the Bill Gove workshop and really understood what this business really is. Most speakers think they're teachers. We are not teachers. Teachers make $50,000 a year. I know Harvard professors that make $100,000 a year. At Harvard, at Stanford, at Yale. These are some of the smartest people in the country, if not the world. And they're making very little money compared to a good speaker who make $100,000 a week. So are we teachers? No. We're entertainers with content specific for an audience's or company organization's problem, to solve a specific problem, to solve a partial problem or a partial solution to a problem. And that's for a percentage of the audience, the first couple of rows. But for the rest of the people in the audience, do they really care about the solution? No, they have a job. They want to go to the casino. They want to go to play golf. They want to do wherever garden spot in the country that you're having this keynote national convention where you're keynoting. They want to play. They're not that serious. They have jobs. They get off at 5. They start at 9. Can you grab their attention? If you're good enough, if you're entertaining enough, you can. Our job at some level as keynote speakers is to wake the dead, to get people's attention that don't want to give their attention. They'd rather text someone on their phone or act like they're paying attention because they're at work. Their boss is sitting 2 rows in front of them. But you're so entertaining, they can't stop watching. They can't stop listening. And they'll tell you at the book signing. They'll say, I never heard of you before, never sure about that, but that was the greatest speech I ever heard in my life. That's when you know you've got it. Are you entertaining enough? If you think this business at the highest level, at the 7-figure level, is teaching, you're in the wrong business. It's not. People that say that aren't very successful. It's entertainment, primarily. 80 to 90% entertainment in a keynote speech. Why? Because most people don't want to be there. And if you don't entertain most of the audience, they will never hire you back. So work on your entertainment. You got to learn how to do the song and dance and make people laugh and have fun and engage. And if you don't, you'll never going back. If all you do is teach, guess what? You know how many millions of people teach? Are really qualified teachers? Millions and millions of people. How many 7-figure speakers are in the United States or in the world? Well, the $1 Million Speakers Club, Speakers Group, we have at National Speaker Association, we have about 60 members. And that means they make at least $1 million a year. There's probably another 20 in the world, maybe 25. That's it. There's not thousands. There's under 100 in the whole world. You can be one of them if you can be entertaining, combined with content, other things we'll talk about as I count down from number 50 to number 1 in the speaking secret. So think about being entertaining. Ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 7, 7 being most entertaining, 1 being least entertaining, objectively speaking, without emotion, how entertaining are you on that scale? And how fast can you get to 6 or 7? Because that's what it's going to take to really succeed at the highest level of this business. Thanks for watching the blog. I'll see you next time for secret number 49.